Alright, so Sector 12 just came out, and I got a very good time on it at the moment, and maybe new setups will come out for this. But TLDR, it is a Gauntlet DERI meta, of course. MELI is also very good. DIANE Axe is also very good. Daisy is alright. So we'll just go over the teams that I think could do it. But firstly, most Gauntlet DERIs are 3-starring this pretty easily. The go through ult here is very important. Obviously, go through ult is probably the best support in the game at the moment. I get to freeze an enemy for 14 entire seconds and they take double damage that entire time. Just makes the game super easy. I will try to show teams without him or provide alternatives. But this is basically the meta team right here. And this is basically the meta supports for every person. Just like in my last video, if you don't have Book Go Through, then you can run a level 3 Secure Adventure Hauser. You can run a Manny, and I think that's about it. Those two would be the replacements. My DERI is built pretty good. We have max dark damage, max crit damage, and crit chance. Crit chance is nice. The sub weapons are limit break 7. I have double buff earrings. This is also very important. A lot of her buffs only last 7 seconds, so having the double buff gets your buffs around 10 seconds, I believe. Necklace would be magic if you have a raid necklace with magic on it. And the ring could be crit damage or defense shatter or attack percent. Those are the 3 best rolls for the ring. Engrave has ult and attack on it. You're looking for crit damage, ult move, and attack percent. It is level 3. Later in the video, I'll show off some units that aren't P10. Any of the units that can comfortably clear it, I don't have at a low potential. But I'm sure by now you guys have at least one high potential DPS, whether it's Merlin, DERI, MELI, DIANE. You probably have at least one of them at P7 if you've been playing since the game came out. If you are a new player, these videos just are basically useless for you. You have to be in a really in-game position to do these kinds of sectors. But you can use this as a blueprint on what to look for and how to build your characters if you wish. Anyways, let's get into the sector and explain the mechanics. So once again, we have a sector with a really simple mechanic. She spawns in with a bunch of stacks on her, and all you have to do is do normal auto attacks to remove the stacks. In all of the runs that I consider to be the fastest, this is a complete waste of time removing these stacks. If you have the damage to ignore that mechanic, then you might as well do it. She also has some grab attacks and an ult move. She's kind of similar to Gauntlet DERI, actually. She's kind of like an NPC version of Gauntlet DERI. But anyways, let's get into my damage rotation. Like always, it starts with 4 Daisy turrets. If you don't have her at P7 and you only have 2, that's fine. You'll just have to do an extra little bit of skills, or maybe one more extra tag to get the magic you need. It's not really a big deal. Quickly, I realized I forgot to show off my supports. We have debuff on Go Through's armor, level 3. We have the Dark Chaos Earrings for 24% debuff. Spider Boots with high debuff. This puts our debuff percent at 72%. This gives me basically like a 13 or 14 second go through ult at P10. If you're not P10, your ult will be like 9 seconds. Liz is on double him and Crimson Ring. Liz is always just built to give me the most magic possible. You want the Spider Boots, they have 8% magic on them. If she's P10, you're looking for defense and magic. If she's not P10, you just want magic. But basically, she's always just a magic generator. And Daisy is very similar, but we have the Untamed set on her. We have magic on the level 3 Spring Robe, and 3-set him has to be on somebody, so I put it on Daisy. Yeah, let's get into the damage rotation. It's going to be the same thing that I've been doing for quite a while now. You've probably seen it in my videos. So we start the fight, get first strike, do all our turrets, Q, Liz, E, Q, go through, Q. All we need is 3 orbs for DERI. We do all of our Qs, all of our Es. Then we do our combo ult, and he's gonna get blown up. I hit 11 mil there at the end. I do like 10 million more damage than I need to. So you can see why a lot of DERIs should be able to clear this very easily. I'd say P6 DERI could 3-star with no problems at all. She could probably get like a minute. You just have to do that exact rotation, but like maybe 2 or 3 times. Obviously, not having a Book Go Through is going to significantly make you weaker. If we just try a decent alternative to him, it will be... We'll just throw Hauser in real quick with the level 3 Secure Adventure. Without Book Go Through, you'll see that the damage is much worse. I might still kill, though, because I'm significantly overpowered. But we'll have to deal with missing, getting stunned, and stuff like that. So let's see. Okay, so last run with Book Gother, we did like 10 million more damage than we needed to, and now we don't even kill. But we'll just do our full Q, go right back into our ult, pray we don't die. And okay. Yeah, it's still a very respectable time no matter what you do with a P10 DERI, that's just how she is. When you start getting into more free-to-play teams like this, even if your DERI is like P7, that still would have been... That would have probably been like a minute and 30 with Hauser and a P7 DERI. But all in all, this sector should be very easy for a lot of people. 11 was very simple. I'm actually ranked 22 now with a P4 Escanor. Now let's get into the Meliodas. We're obviously going to abuse Gother. If you have Gother, you should be using him on Book. It's not really up for debate. He is just much better than even my P10 DERI on Axe. Mind you, P10 DERI is giving me 100% more normal skill damage, and Book Gotherall is still better. This is the sword, a 3 out of 3 Black Flame, limit break 7 sub-weapons. The engrave is 2 out of 3, level 3. Of course, we're just going to throw the raid set on him. The double buff earrings also help melee significantly as well, since his haste lasts longer. The longer his haste lasts, the more ease you can get out of Meliodas. So Meliodas actually has a somewhat unique rotation you need to do. You need to combo ult on Daisy, and then you do a ult with Gother. This is so you can apply a lightning burst on Daisy and then corrupt it with melee to refresh the entire burst meter. If you do it this way, you'll get a full burst duration worth of damage. Whereas if you combo ulted on melee and then did a Gother ult, you would be draining your Dark Gauge while you're doing the Gother ult. I don't know if that really makes sense, but you'll see in this run. Oh, we'll do the combo ult. Swap to Gother, Q, Q, E, ult. Swap to melee, Q, E. As you can see, damage is absolutely insane, and there's really no issues at all with them. So if you're a melee user, you pretty much know what to do already. Just do that exact rotation. If you don't have Gother, just use Hauser or Manny. Everyone by now should be pretty comfortable using Meliodas. Since this sector is dark, it is just pretty easy. It's also Earth, and Earth has some solid DPS. It has Diane and Daisy. I'm not going to be showing Daisy DPS. It's pretty bad. Diane is much better. If you're a Daisy enjoyer, then you probably already know how to play her better than I do, so there's no point in me teaching it if I'm not good at it. This is the next team. We're on Earth Axe Diane. We're going to throw DERI's gauntlets on for more attack. I don't have a SSR nunchuck. There's basically no reason to have an SSR nunchuck at this point. We'll finally get one when Bond comes out. If you have this axe maxed out with a good roll on it, this axe is actually the best one. I do not. This axe is already maxed out and it's 3 out of 3. It's a very good roll, so we're just going to be sticking with this. Diane is actually one of my weaker builds. I really enjoy her. She's really fun, but she's not P10, so she hasn't ever been meta for me. I think if your Diane's like P6 or P7, she'll be perfectly fine to use. P8 is just stats. It's fine that you don't have that. Also, my armor's not really that good. It's 125, level 2 with only attack on it. Pretty easy to beat this. And of course, we're just going to run the 7-piece raid set again. Supports literally haven't changed. The supports won't change the whole video. So the only thing you really need to know to be good with Diane is this E needs to hit. You need to make sure you don't animation cancel this E, make sure it actually hits the enemy, and then you just go into spamming Qs. If your Diane is P10, you will absolutely destroy this boss. Mine's P8, so it'll be much worse than melee and DERI, but it's also a very valuable option if you, for some reason, only pulled like a Diane or something. So we'll go in, do the exact same thing that we do every other time. Go through ult. Q, E, tag, combo ult. E, make sure it hits, and then we spam our Qs. And that's one full rotation. We'll make some magic. We'll heal up. Now we have to wait about 10 seconds. We got ulted here. Actually, kind of hard to dodge that. Alright, should be ready to do another rotation. I don't have the max chest piece buff, so we'll get that real quick. Do our E, spam our Qs, and he's dead. That's 106 with P8. Very, very comfortable 3-star with Diane. But like I always say, if you're a new player, don't expect to come in here in 3-star. And if your builds suck, don't expect to come in here in 3-star easily. First and foremost, you've got to know what stats are the best on your DPS and what they need to be built for. 9 times out of 10, the stats that apply to everything are the best two to get first. My gauntlets on DERI are a perfect example. Darkness damage, that applies to your Q, your E, and your ult. Crit damage applies to your Q, your E, and your ult. So obviously it's better damage than just having ult move here. If I had ult move here, it would do the same damage, pretty much, but I would lose the bonus damage on my Qs and my Es. So you always prioritize the stats that work for all of your skills instead of just one that works for a specific skill. Units like MELI are an exemption because his Q literally does basically no damage. And basically nobody ults on MELI, so completely fine to just run normal skill here. Like normal skill crit damage would be fine, or normal skill dark damage would be fine. Yeah, try to keep that in mind when you're rolling stuff. So what other units can 3-star? Definitely Daisy. Probably Lightning Merlin. We're gonna try that next. And I want to say that's it. I know some SRs actually do damage if you build them right, but I am not doing that. So let's just be realistic and say Diane can 3-star, Daisy can 3-star, Merlin can 3-star, MELI can 3-star, and DERI can 3-star. You always just want to take note of who's sector boosted and use those people first. DERI and Diane are leagues above the others. But let's have some fun and use Merlin. My Merlin is attack and crit damage and magic on the outfit. This is a very good roll. I'm never going to change this. The outfit is level 3. My weapon is a 3 out of 3. It's an extremely good roll. I'm never going to change this. And her other weapons are limit break 7. 7-piece Tyrannus, like always. I haven't tried Lightning Merlin yet on this sector, but I expect it to clear pretty easily at P10. I would say she probably has to be P7 to 3-star, and even then it'd probably be pretty close. Let's just see how it goes. Okay, we missed the tag on Liz, so I'll try to get that. Okay. Great. We have everything stacked up. We'll get in my aura to do more damage. Use the normal Q to get our skill regen back. Based off of that, it seems like you'd be pretty lucky to do like half of her health. But I want to try that again, and this time I want to strip all of her stacks on her HP bar. We'll see how much of a difference that makes, and then we'll see if stripping the stacks even makes much of a noticeable difference. So I'm literally just going to walk in and shoot until their stacks are gone, and then I'll do my full rotation. Alright. Oh, well, I wasted first strike anyway. I don't know what I was thinking. Hit. Combo. Do our damage inside of the turrets for more. This is much better. So what a surprise, guys. Doing the mechanic is actually more damage. Who would have thought? So yeah, if you're really struggling on damage, I would just strip all of her stacks, no matter what team you're using. You could have done this with Diane as well, and probably killed in one cycle. I'm gonna ult that again, I don't want to die. We'll just brute force it here. Alright, that was a much better run. So if you're really struggling on damage, I would strip all of her stacks first and then do your entire rotation. Once again, if you don't have go through, this time is going to be like probably like an entire minute worse. And my Merlin's P10, so this is definitely the worst unit to use for this, but it's still possible. But I think that's it. Hopefully I'm not overlooking anything important. Those are basically all of the DPSs that make sense to bring. These last two sectors have actually been pretty simple. There's no real issues. Like I said, 24 seconds with a P4 Escanor. My DERI is P10, yes, but still, that's just insane. The Escanor team is actually really, really good now. Next week, we will have the half anniversary. Bond will be coming out. They'll release a bunch of new systems to level up our power. We're getting like transcendent armor that like limit breaks your armor to like plus 15 or something. It also gives you like new passives or something like that. And we're getting a new leaderboard specific difficulty called Transcendence, which is quite interesting. I'm happy for it personally as a leaderboard player. They're probably doing it just to combat this ridiculous meta we have in speedrunning at the moment where let me quickly explain this if you aren't aware. The timer for this boss is capped at 22,001. Why do they do that? We have no idea. It's probably to combat the exploiters. The issue is it is completely possible to get a 21 second legit. I believe the best time legit is like 21.4, but that time does not submit to leaderboards. So you have to go slow on purpose and kill the boss frame perfect at a 1 millisecond margin. It is very, very annoying. These runs took our members like 12 hours of grinding to get. There's videos of these runs out there. If you want videos, you can join my Discord or something and ask for it. But hopefully the Transcendence difficulty will combat this. It should be hard enough to where we're no longer one-cycling or one-shotting anything, so it'll prevent us from banging our head against these millisecond caps. Anyways, Half Annie's looking exciting. Bunch of new stuff, some new game modes. I'll definitely have a lot of videos coming out next week for Half Annie. There'll probably be a lot of extra optimizing to do once we get like Transcendent Armor. But yeah, I think that's it for this sector guide. Thanks for watching. Peace.